Hello, welcome to my first Gundam TCG video. This is a deck that, since I was getting into the game, I was thinking like, what could be the cheapest entry point for the game? And I know that it's a bit hard to find some singles. Starter decks in some regions are like very hard to come by. So I tried to make this deck thinking, what if we could just buy singles and uh, build around like spare cards that, for example, someone who opened two starter decks and they have some spare cards to give you or sell, and if you had access to someone who bought some boxes and they have some singles to sell or give you like using only commons and uncommons, like no hairs, no LRs. So this should be a very cheap deck that can probably help you win games at your local game store. It's a very straightforward deck, and I hope you like it. So, getting to the deck list, we have here. This is the deck list that I chose to play. I'll give some card by card explanations. So first we have DOP. It's your basically your only going first turn one play. It just helps you filter the deck. It's a 1/1, which is kind of bad stat wise, but you just need a body to hit shield once you get rid of the bases. So it does the job. Next we have both Jin and Zakuchu. These two cards are just like level 2 1 cost 2/2s. Very straightforward. They are also just bodies to attack shields. They most of the time they won't be getting rid of bases, and you wanna save them to deal damage. To deal damage to your opponent's shields. Um, if you had to, like, for example, let's say you want to change a little bit the deck list, if you had to cut one of those, you probably want to cut Zaku 2 because of the Jigen that requires more Federation cards. So yeah, preferably you want to have the James. Next we have the other Zakuchu. This one is great because it's a 1/2, but once it attacks, it gets +2, so it attacks for 3, which means it can get rid of an EX base on like your first attack. So you can use this to destroy your opponent's EX base, and then use these other 3 to get damage through. So it's a really great card. Ideally, this will be your first play if you're going second, and also just a really good card to have overall. Next, we have the Jigen. As I said, you kind of need more Earth Federation units in play to get the cost reduction, but it's essentially one cost 2/3, which is great stat wise compared to your other one cost creatures. It requires a bit of synergy, but yeah, it's just a good card set wise and more one cost for an aggro deck. It's just good. Sometimes you can play like if you're going second, you can play Jin turn 1 and then you follow up with a Rizal and Jigen on turn 2. It's just like a very good board stat wise and can probably overwhelm your opponent. Next we have Rizal. It's just a 4/3, really good to play against against white decks in general, because the Alfred is a 2/4 blocker. This can just get through it. It's a bit sad if they play Zowart, but you have ways around it, and yeah, it's just a really good card stat wise and an amazing turn 2 or turn 3 play. We also have the Goof, which is another turn 3 play, mostly for going first. Uh, but yeah, it's just 2 bodies. Instead of playing like a Riza when they one cost creature, you can just play a Goof, and it's basically 2 cards in one. The token comes rested, which is a bit bad, but yeah, it's sometimes it's enough, and it's good for forming the board without spending too much cards. Then we have the G Fighter. This is one of the Amuro links in this deck. One of the cards you can link with Amuro. Usually you would play the ST1 LR Gundam, but since we're playing only commons and uncommons, I'm assuming you don't have access to it. But yeah, it will be a great addition to this deck should you want to upgrade it, or if you're building out of, for example, having two starter decks. It's just a good card in general. But for this list, I'm just playing G Fighter and Gundam as it is. This just helps you, like, it does a char impression, just lets you attack through blockers if your opponent, if they don't have a base. You can just, for example, play G Fighter if you have another white base like Gundam or Gun Tank on the field. You can just use this and attack for game, or you can like play it and link with Famuro, choose itself for the deploy effect and attack for game. Next we have Gundam, the other Amuro link in this deck. It's just good stat wise, not really much to say here. It can help you against green white since it's a 3/4, so Wing Zero won't kill this right away. And being another Amuro link can help you just put some more pressure in your opponent. It plus Amuro hits for 5, which most bases are 5. So you have a little bit of trouble dealing with 6 cost bases. Most of the time it will be Amuro linked with Rizal. But yeah, this plus Amuro will like deal with a blocker and get to a 5 HP base, which is most of the time what you need. Next we have Gun Tank and Denksha. These both do the same thing. They enter the field and deal damage to an unit. This can be very useful if your opponent is trying to trade into your units once you have attacked with them. So this can basically just, with these pings, you can keep dealing with your opponent's unit very easily. We have Amuro, with just when paired, rest something. This can be used to like either link with one of these two, or just deal with one blocker and get your attacks through. For the bases, we play 2 Falmel. When deployed on your turn, it gets 1 shield to your hand and deploys a rested 3/1 to your field. Deploying a rested token is kind of bad. Same thing with Goof, but yeah, it's just like a shield that still put pressures on the board. So it's probably one of the best bases you can play. Next we play one of these. This is mostly for the mirror because as you can see, the deck has some trouble dealing with 6 HP bases. So if you can get this in the mirror match, you can probably this can probably absorb 2 attacks instead of just 1. So yeah, it's good to have, and it's mostly a high roll card since you just place a pawn. It can happen, and sometimes you just win games because of it. It's not like on a very tight budget you had better things to do. Show of resolve, same thing. Just a high roll card. You most likely want to be top decking this instead of starting it with it in your hand. The reason you only play one, it's because yeah, it's just for like when you need to top deck and out and swarm the board, for example. If you somehow got to level 5, you can just play these for 3, play 2 one cost units, and this can be enough most of the time. So yeah, this is a very aggressive list. Aggro decks are usually cheaper in card games. I probably want to make a video on that as well later. And yeah, it's like most of the cards here, for example, the Amuros, every starter deck comes with 4 of them. So if you know someone who bought 2 of them, they can probably give you the 4 Amuros and like 2 gyms, because gyms come, they chose that the gyms will come in 3. So if they bought 2 starter decks and want to have a play set, you can probably like get 2 gyms and buy the other 2, or find someone else who open the 2 decks as well. If you could only get 2 gyms and like you need a somewhat cheaper replacement, you can also play Zaku 1, assuming that you know someone who bought both 2 of the starter deck 1 and 2 of the starter deck 3. And these 2, the starter deck 3 also comes with 4 of these, comes with 2 of these, and 2 of these, like, they are the spares. You get 3 of these in each deck, so someone who bought 2 of them will have 6 in total, so they can probably give you the 2 Goofs, the 2 Formels, and the 4 Zaku 2s here. And they also will be able to give you 2 Zaku 1s, so if you know, if that's your situation, you can just replace 2 Jeans with 2 Zaku 1s, because it's just a body to attack shield. So this just has the advantage of being your federation for Gigant Synergy. But yeah, some other options that you can consider for this deck. You can play like either pieces or Zaku 1s if you want more 1-drops. People have been people that have been playing like similar lists to these in competitive environments have been shying away from the 1-drops, but most of the time people like to play, if you're going to play 1-drops, you probably play 8. In this case we're playing just 4 because it's mostly for the high roll. This is a budget deck, so you kind of have to compromise on the card quality sometimes. Another card that people have been testing with a lot is Rickdom. You can probably try this out. I don't think it's like fast enough for this deck, but it could be like a good play if you want to try out. It's useful mostly in the mirror match, and if your opponent's playing blocker, because if they try to block this, it still has reach, and it can like trade in 1 or 2 units like in the mirror and keep pressuring your opponent's shields at the same time. So it's something worth considering depending on your playstyle. Obviously, more copies of Show of Resolve or more copies of Goof, any card that you don't play 4 of, you could theoretically consider it. Also, this gun tank can be like, if you're only very tight budget, you can probably try to play this. It's just deploy rest something with 2 HP. Can be useful to get rid of zone wards or like a blocker that they have already traded with. Zanzibar, I don't really like. People play it when they play the Charles Gelb, but I don't think in this deck it would be very worth it, since we don't really have a good target to play with this card. So yeah, I don't think it's really worth attacking. You could probably try Hayato. It's another pinger. I think 8 pingers is enough. Some people might think that this is even too much, but yeah, if you also happen to know someone who bought the starter deck too, you can also try out Corsica base. The token comes unrested, but like it costs 3, so it's a bit harder to play. But the thing is, if you can high roll into more of these, the other ones will give you 2 bodies, which is amazing, that don't come rested, which is really good. So yeah, it's a good card to see multiples, especially if you like flip the first one on your shields as a burst, and then you play the second one from hand. It's a really good card to consider at least. And yeah, if you are able to get some upgrades for this deck, mostly the 2 Zaku 2s, like one from the starter deck and the other one from the main set. One is here, the other one is the starter deck LRF. So this can be good if you want to upgrade the deck. Probably the best version of this deck plays the 8 Charles Zaku 2s and maybe the Gelgugs. But yeah, it's a card that you only consider it if you want to upgrade the deck. And if you play it, you might want to consider running these Gelgug as well, just because it links with any Xeon and Charles as Xeon. It could be an engine that you can even try on a budget. but I don't think it's currently worth it to play it. Probably want to play a faster strategy that relies less on finding specific units, and you probably just have a higher, you probably have a more consistent results with this list. This is also, people have been trying this out. I don't personally think it's good, but if you know someone who bought the starter deck too, it might be worth trying out. And I think like on a budget, these are your options to play with this deck. Uh, Basically, it's a very straightforward aggro deck. You play a bunch of vanillas, you just try to attack the shields as most as you can, and you try to use your links to close out the game and deal with your opponent's blockers, and that's basically the strategy. Very easy to play. People have been getting results with very similar lists. And if you want to try out the Gundam TCG for a very cheap price, this is probably your best entry point in the game if you don't have access or don't want to buy the starter decks. And if you want some more, a deck with a bit more strategy to it, already, or with already some likes, you know. So yeah, I think this is it for this video. You enjoyed this deck tech, and if you guys want to see more Gundam content, other TCG content, I play a lot of TCGs, so I'm planning on doing more content for other TCGs as well. And let me know in the comments if there's like any changes we would make to this deck. If you like want to share your experience playing Gundam TCG, and what other TCGs you like to play, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe for more TCG content, and that's it. Bye bye.